chapter 21. Now, we're going to go over what we read, 18, um, or no, 19 and 20. 19 cities of refuge is essentially the Lord. The Lord has appointed 3 cities for if anybody kills someone by accident. And if they happen to kill someone by accident, then they'll flee to those cities until the high priest dies. Otherwise, whoever murders them for not being in those cities, they won't be guilty. Now, do not take land from anyone else. That's another thing. And there must be at least 2 or 3 witnesses to be able to bring testimony or witness to something for crimes. And then chapter 20, the laws of warfare. In whatever war the Lord has called these men will not be afraid. But the bigger picture here is trust in the Lord in all your ways, because He does great things. It's plain and simple. And also, do not destroy any of the fruit trees, or trees that produce fruit. Because if they are cut down, how can they produce fruit? Now, those that do not produce fruit, they may be cut down. Now, also, it shows to say that when Jesus curses the fig tree for not producing fruit, then that fig tree will be tossed into the fire. But it also shows that any person who does not show true faith and does not produce any fruit of the faith, they will be cut off and they will be thrown into the fire, known as hell. So yeah, that's chapter 20. That's 19 and 20 from yesterday. So today, or tonight rather, we're going to read from chapter 21. Expiation of a crime. If a person who has been killed by someone is found lying in the open country in the land which the Lord your God has given you to possess, and it is not known who struck him, then your elders and your judges shall go out and measure the distance to the cities which are around the one who was killed. And it shall be that the city which is nearest to the person killed, that is, the elders of that city, shall take a heifer of the herd that has not been worked and is not pulled in a yoke, and the elders of that city shall bring the heifer down to a valley with running water, which has not been plowed or sown, and they shall break the heifer's neck there in the valley. Then the priests, the sons of Levi, shall come forward, because the Lord your God has chosen them to serve them and to bless in the name of the Lord. And every dispute and violent crime shall be settled by them. And all the elders of that city which is nearest to the person killed shall wash their hands over the heifer whose neck was broken in the valley. And they shall respond and say, Our hands did not shed this blood, nor did our eyes see who did. Forgive your people Israel, whom you have redeemed, Lord, and do not place the guilt for innocent blood in the midst of your people Israel. And the guilt for bloodshed shall be forgiven them. So you shall remove the guilt for innocent blood from your midst when you do what is right in the eyes of the Lord. Domestic relations. When you go out to battle against your enemies, and the Lord your God hands them over to you, and you take them away captive, and you see among the captives a beautiful woman, and are strongly attracted to her, and would take her as a wife for yourself, then you shall bring her into your home, and she shall shave her head and trim her nails. She shall also remove the clothes of her captivity, and shall remain in your house, and weep for her father and mother a full month. And after that you may have relations with her and become her husband, and she shall be your wife. But it shall be, if you are not pleased with her, then you shall let her go wherever she wishes, and you certainly shall not sell her for money. You shall not have her as merchandise, since you have humiliated her. If a man has two wives, the one loved and the other unloved, and both the loved and the unloved have borne him sons, and the firstborn son belongs to the unloved, then unloved, uh, then it shall be on the day that he wills what he owns as an inheritance to his son. He is not allowed to treat the son of the loved wife as the firstborn at the expense of the son of the unloved, who is the firstborn son. On the contrary, he shall acknowledge the firstborn, the son of the unloved wife, by giving him a double portion of everything that he owns. For he was the beginning of his strength. To him belongs the right of the firstborn. If any person has a stubborn and rebellious son who does not obey his father or his mother, then when they discipline him, he does not listen to them, then his father and mother shall seize him and bring him out to the elders of the city at the gateway of his hometown. And they shall say to the elders of the city, this son of ours is stubborn and rebellious. He does not obey us. He is thoughtless and given to drinking. Then all the men of his city shall stone him to death. So you shall eliminate the evil from your midst, and all Israel will hear about it and fear. Aaron Holmes, God bless you and welcome in. Now, if a person has committed a sin carrying a sentence of death and he is put to death and you hang him on a tree, his body is not to be left overnight on the tree, but you shall certainly bury him on the same day. For he who is hanged is cursed of God, so that you do not defile your land which the Lord your God is giving you as an inheritance. Thank you. I love you, bro. Thank you so much, Aaron. I love you too. Not in the wrong way, but in a loving, caring way. Yeah. Hoping you have a great day, Aaron. Chapter 21. Well, when somebody is killed in the open country, then the closest city to where the person was killed, the elders of that city will bring a heifer that has not worked. They will break his neck, and they'll wash their hands over the heifer, and in the case that they are innocent, they will proclaim their innocence and pray for mercy to the Lord, so that they do not put guilt among them for something that they did not do. You are my friend. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Yeah, we're friends. Both of us. Yeah. Domestic relations. Back in the day, you could have different wives. At least two. I'm not sure the exact number or if there was a limit, but at least two wives you could have. Yep, we are friends. But the future wife, they'll shave their head and mourn for their parents for 1 month, and then they will move in with their soon-to-be husband and have sex, and then they'll become wife. Now, the husband was allowed to disown her wife if he is not pleased, which is kind of sad because who knows how many people have taken advantage of this. I'm not sure. But if that unloved wife happens to bear a son before the one that is loved. What? Yeah, sorry. That's what it's talking about in the Bible. If it sounds a little out of, if that sounds a little strange, then, well, this is what it's talking about. I'm sorry that you had to hear that, but Yeah. But if a man has two wives and one is loved and another unloved, and the unloved one is having the first son of the father, then that unloved son will have double inheritance over the loved son's firstborn. Now, any rebellious children will be stoned to death in in a, in front of the city. Now, anybody who's put on death cannot be left overnight on a tree, otherwise they'll be cursed. So yeah, chapter 21, they have to carry a heifer if a person is killed in a while, and wives. Um, Men were allowed to have different wives back then. Now it's no longer the case, but back then they could. Now, um, the firstborn of the unloved, if it is born first before the loved wife, they will get double inheritance, and any children found disobeying the parents will be stoned to death, and you can't leave hanged people on a tree overnight. It's a lot of stuff, I know, Aaron, but uh, thanks to Jesus, none of these laws um, yeah, many of these laws are still in effect, but many of these laws that are considered very much strange nowadays, we don't follow. I'll just admit that. One of those examples would be having more than one wife. You could do that back in the time Moses was there, but nowadays, after Jesus, you can't. Um, yeah. It's a lot of laws, and why? Uh, I have no clue, other than I just, I uh, people back then were not quite as uh, people were back then were different from today. So you are great, bro. Oh, thank you, Aaron. Thank you. All right, chapter 22, various laws. You shall not see your country's ox or his sheep straying away and avoid them. You shall certainly bring them back to your countrymen. And if your countryman is not near you, or if you do not know him, then you shall bring it to your house, and it shall remain with you until your countryman looks for it. Then you shall restore it to him. You shall also do this with his donkey, and you shall do the same with his garment, and you shall do likewise with any lost property of your countryman, which has been lost by him, and you have found. You are not allowed to avoid them. You shall not see your countryman's donkey or his ox fallen down on the road and avoid them. You shall certainly help him raise them up. A woman shall not wear a man's clothing, nor a man put on a woman's clothing, for whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord your God. I'm 22 years old. How about you, Aaron? If you happen to come upon a bird's nest along the way, in any tree or the ground, or on the ground, with young ones or eggs in it, and mothers, the mother sitting on the young or on the eggs, you shall not take the mother with the young. You shall certainly let the mother go, but the young you may take for yourself, in order that it may go well for you and that you may prolong your days. Oh, you're 10 and you're 23. Yeah, I'm 22, so I turned 23 in April. When you build a house, you shall make a parapet for your roof, so that you will not bring guilt for bloodshed on your house if anyone falls from it. You shall not sow your vineyard with two kinds of seed, otherwise all the produce of the seed which you have sown and of yield of the vineyard will be forfeited to the sanctuary. You shall not plow with an ox and a donkey together. You shall not wear material of wool and linen combined together. You shall make yourself tassels on the four corners of your garment with which you cover yourself. Okay, laws on morality. If any man takes a wife and goes into her and then turns against her, and he charges her with shameful behavior and publicly defames her and says, I took this woman, but when I came near her, I did not find her to have evidence of virginity. Then the girl's father and her mother shall take and bring out the evidence of the girl's virginity to the elders of the city at the gate. And the girl's father shall say to the elders, I gave my daughter to this man as a wife, but he turned against her, and behold, he has charged her with shameful behavior, saying, I did not find your daughter to have evidence of virginity. Yeah. But this is the evidence of my daughter's virginity. And they shall spread out the garment before the elders of the city. Then the elders of that city shall take the man and rebuke him, and they shall fine him 100 shekels of silver, and give it to the girl's father, because he publicly defamed a virgin of Israel, and she shall remain his wife. He is not allowed to divorce her all his days. But if this charge is true, and they did not find the girl to have evidence of virginity, then they shall bring the girl out to the doorway of her house, of her father's house, and the men of her city shall stone her to death, because she has committed a disgraceful sin in Israel by playing a prostitute in her father's house. So you shall eliminate the evil from among you. Take care, Aaron. Thank you for thank you for tuning in, and God bless you. And we'll see you on the next one. Sleep deep, rise and shine bright, and go in peace and seek the love of the Lord. Good night. If a man is found sleeping with a married woman, then both of them shall die. The man who slept with a woman, and the woman so you shall eliminate the evil from Israel. If there is a girl who is a virgin, betrothed to a man, and another man finds her in the city and sleeps with her, then you shall bring them both out to the gate of that city, and you shall stone them to death, the girl, because she did not cry out for help, though she was in the city, and the man, because he has violated his neighbor's wife. So you shall eliminate the evil from among you. No worries. I don't know what you're sorry about. But if a man finds the girl who is betrothed in the field, and the man seizes her and rapes her, then only the man who raped her shall die. And you are not to do anything to the girl. There is no sin in the girl worthy of death, for just as a man rises against his behavior and murders him, so is this case. When he found her in the field, the betrothed girl cried out, but there was no one to save her. Yeah. If a man finds a girl who is a virgin but who is not betrothed, and he seizes her and has sexual relations with her, and they are discovered, then a man who had sexual relations with her shall give the girl's father 50 shekels of silver, and she shall become his wife, because he has divorced her. He is not allowed to divorce her all his days. And also, a man shall not take his father's wife in marriage, so that he does not uncover his father's garment. Okay. 22 just describes different kinds of laws. If you find any livestock lost by somebody, then you shall report it and give it back to whoever it belongs. Now, get this. A woman shall not wear a man's clothing, nor shall a man put on a woman's clothing. For whoever does these things is an abomination to the Lord. Now, this also, um, in a way, uh, condemns what the LGBTQ people are doing. And I'm not going to say what it is, but y'all know what it is perfectly. If not, you could look it up. But, yeah. A bird's nest. If you happen to find eggs, then you shall not take the mother, but the eggs, perhaps, which is kind of counterintuitive. Yes, the mother needs to be with her offspring for the eggs, but taking the eggs, I'm not sure why, but whatever. I'm not sure what a parapet is, but you need one on your roof to not bring guilt for any blood that is shed. Do not sow your vineyard with two kinds of seed, otherwise you forfeit the vineyard crops to the sanctuary. Do not plow with an ox and donkey. Do not wear wool and linen together, and make some tassels. Now, if a husband is accuses her wife of not being a virgin before having sex, then the parents of that girl will come and bring evidence that she is still a virgin, and that man shall be remained married and pay 50 shekels to them, or 100 shekels. But if the woman or a girl is found to be a non-virgin, then she'll be stoned to death. If someone cheats on their spouse, both the cheater and the cheated, they'll be struck into death. They'll be put to death. There was a girl who who's married to someone who's still a virgin and has sex with somebody else, then they'll be stoned to death as well, because the girl did not scream for help. But if it's raped and there's no one to save her, then that girl will be strapped into death. That girl will not be put to death. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, Metro. I messed that up. Metro keeps typing in all caps for no reason. I'm joking, Metro. What's up, Metro? How's it going? Open your minds. The truth is through openness. Yeah, opening your heart. That's how you harness the power of what the Bible provides for you. If a man finds a virgin girl and has sex with her, then the girl's father will get 50 shekels, and they will be married. And he's not allowed to divorce her. A man shall not take his father's wife, so no incest either. Or otherwise, a man cannot marry her mother. Alright? So yeah, folks, Mamma Mia. We need to be open-minded and not be turned away by our own thinking, to be humble. Right. Being humble is what Jesus proclaims and what Jesus preaches overall. If you're not humble, if you're here saying, oh, haha in your face, I'm more holy than you, and how dare you speak to me that way? It's better to be more like, yes, sir, yes, sir. In fact, in 1 Corinthians, I believe, Paul actually condemns lawsuits. Not because we were unjustly wrong, not because they're not guilty, whoever did wrong against us, but because we, or in this case, people back then, at least, they would use the money from the lawsuit or whatever they earned from the lawsuit, and they would put it to bad use. So that's why Paul says, okay, you know what? Lawsuits are discouraged. So I prefer not to lawsuit anyone, but rather just to, whatever. So, the modern version of retrieving somebody else's ox and or sheep or donkey or whatever, it would be helping someone on the side of the road with their car. To bear fruit is to extend branches, not support on one plant. Yeah. In fact, yesterday we read that in Deuteronomy 20, verses 19 and 20, it says, when you besiege a city for a long time to make war against it in order to capture it, you shall not destroy its trees by swinging an axe against them, for you may eat from them, so you shall not cut them down. For is the tree of the field a human that it should be besieged by you? Only the trees that you know are not fruit trees you shall destroy and cut down, so that you may construct siege works against the city that is making war against you until it falls. So, in the end, it's not really about actual trees. It's about people who bear fruit. And those fruits are born through different branches. Not just one branch. Otherwise, that would be like bearing not enough fruits. So, did you read the part where Joshua took over the promised land and destroyed the kingdom after marching around? We're going to read that next week. After we complete Deuteronomy, actually. Because if I'm not mistaken, Joshua is after Deuteronomy. So, yeah, whenever that hits, whenever we get to that, then my mind will be more deeply concentrated and focused in what Joshua does in that. But thanks for the heads up. So you're still at the part where the Jews are still complaining in the wilderness. I'm in Deuteronomy 22. Yes, 22. So this is where Moses is giving out certain laws before he dies. I don't know, does Deuteronomy still have complaining in, well, yeah, right now it's just Moses speaking and nobody else. In the book of Numbers, that would be when the Israelites were complaining. If only we'd have stayed in Egypt where we could eat. But alas, you've brought us to the wilderness so we can die. Those are some sad words to hear because it means that they're actively condemning the Lord's help. Like outright. Alright. Yeah, 22 is restore your neighbor's livestock to whoever it belongs to. Do not wear another sex's clothes. Do not take the mother of the birds. Make a parapet for bloodshed in your house or outside your house on your roof. Do not sow your vineyard with two kinds of seed. Do not plow with an ox and donkey. Do not wear wool and linen. Wear some tassels on all four corners of your garment. And laws on morality is covers accusation of non-virginity and laws on sexual immorality. And yeah. So chapter 23 is persons excluded from the assembly. No one who is emasculated or has his male organ cut off may enter the assembly of the Lord. No one of illegitimate birth may enter the assembly of the Lord. None of his descendants, even to the 10th generation, may enter the assembly of the Lord. No Ammonites, nor Moabite may enter the assembly of the Lord, because they did not meet you with food and water on the way when you came out of Egypt, and because they hired against you Balaam the son of Beor from Pethor of Mesopotamia to curse you. Nevertheless, the Lord your God was unwilling to listen to Balaam, but the Lord your God turned the curse into a blessing for you, because the Lord your God loves you. You shall never seek their peace or their prosperity all your days. You shall not loathe an Edomite, for he is your brother. You shall not loathe an Egyptian, because you are a stranger in his land. The sons of the 3rd generation who are born to them may enter the assembly of the Lord. When you go out as an army against your enemies, you shall be on guard against every evil thing. If there is anyone among you, any man who's unclean because of a nocturnal emission, then he must go outside the camp. He may not re-enter the camp, but when evening approaches, he shall bathe himself with water, and at sundown he may re-enter the camp. You shall also have a place allocated outside the camp, so that you may go out there to relieve yourself. And it shall have a spade among your tools, and it shall be when you sit down outside. You shall dig it. You shall dig with it, and shall turn and cover up your excrement. Since the Lord your God walks in the midst of your camp to save you and to defeat your enemies before you, your camp must be holy. So he must not see anything indecent among you, or he will turn away from you. Fun fact, the Bible is actually a compilation of texts. Yeah, it is. It is. You shall not hand over to his master a slave who has escaped from his master to you. He shall live with you in your midst in the place that he chooses in one of your towns where it pleases him. You shall not mistreat him. None of the daughters of Israel shall be a cult prostitute, nor shall any of the sons of Israel be a cult prostitute. You shall not bring the earnings of a prostitute or the money for a dog into the house of the Lord your God as payment for any bound offering, because both of these are an abomination to the Lord your God. Oh, by the way, according to this Bible, dog means male prostitute. You are not to charge interest to your countrymen, interest on money, food, or anything that may be loaned on interest. You may charge interest to a foreigner, but to your countrymen you shall not charge interest, so that the Lord your God may bless you in all that you undertake in the land which you are about to enter to possess. When you make a vow to the Lord your God, you shall not delay to pay it for the Lord your God will certainly require it of you, and it will be a sin for you. However, if you refrain from making vows, it will not be a sin for you. You shall be careful and perform what goes out of your lips, since in fact you have vowed a voluntary offering to the Lord your God, whatever you have promised. When you enter your neighbor's vineyard, you may eat grapes until you are satisfied, but you are not to put any in your basket. When you enter your neighbor's standing grain, you may pluck the heads of the grain with your hand, but you are not to use a sickle on your neighbor's standing grain. The word of the Lord. Praise be to God. Buddy is hungry. Oh, my mom gave me peanuts. And that's what I have to eat. I was subconsciously eating peanuts. Message held for review. What did you type in this time? Oh, these nuts. That's a meme. I don't know why YouTube is like that. That's a meme. That's one of the greatest memes of all time. From the pre-brain rot era, which, well, y'all know what brain rot is. This is before brain rot, like about 10 years before brain rot, so yeah. I still remember that like yesterday. Yeah, we'll stop here, and we'll end by summarizing this. Guess what? In chapter 23, if anybody cuts their male, you know what I mean, S.O.S technologies, is that confirmed? Or is that just, you know, a joke? Have you tried eating an onion like it's an apple? Um, I've eaten a tomato like an apple, but not an onion. At least not from what I can remember. I've eaten raw onions before, and that was, well, try an onion. Yeah, I think I'm gonna cry. I don't know what's worse, eating an onion like an apple or eating wasabi. Or horseradish. I've eaten a spoonful of horseradish and it was not the best experience. Not at all. Okay, 23. Um, Anyone who has cut off uh, pum, their, what's the word? Their thing. Any man who's cut off their thingy from below, they will not enter the assembly of the Lord. So, it also goes to say that anyone who alters their uh, sexual organs, they will not see the kingdom of heaven. And no one of illegitimate birth may enter. So I guess someone who's cloned or something. What other legitimate birth could be? Like surrogacy. Um, what else? Does IVF count? I don't know. Oh, they still have the Krabby Patty in Burger King? Or wait, no, that was Wendy's. Sorry. But Burger King has a Krabby Patty? I didn't know that. I know Wendy's had it, but there's a new movie. Okay. Um, I'll see. I'll see what happens. I'll see what I can do. And yeah, Wendy's had it, but they use their regular burger. Oh, okay. So it's just one of their burgers rebranded. Interesting. This is a Whopper with yellow buns. Ooh. Bah! It comes with a pineapple float. Yeah, because it's SpongeBob's house. Where we took SpongeBob's house, blended it up, and made it into a drink. Oh, Metro. Metro with the sexual innuendo again. That's SpongeBob's laugh. Bah! Ah! That's how Tom Kenny does the laugh. Bah! Bah! It also sounds like a crappy version of a sheep bleating, like bah! There's also a Gary the Snail ice cream dessert. Meow! Wow, now Burger King is into the new SpongeBob movie. All of this comes with a special packaging. Does it also come with action figures like McDonald's would? Or I wonder what Burger King does. Do a review on it, but yeah. I will do my best to deliver that to you. I no longer have to go to Kingsville, so I have Burger King just 1 mile or two from me, so I could definitely drive up to Burger King and be like, "Hey, do y'all have the uh, Krabby Patty?" Have you seen my um, you requested Raising Cane's? Uh, so I went to Cane's finally, and um, I finally tried their sauce, and well, I saw you didn't show the plate, you just ate it. Well, it's just chicken. Everybody knows what chicken looks like, and coleslaw, and whatever else it was. I think it was mashed potatoes or fries. You gotta hover at it. Well, yeah, I guess, but still, I'm pretty sure it's unless it's something like a chicken sandwich. I'm pretty sure everybody knows what a chicken strip or a chicken tender or whatever looks like, even without looking at it. But that's me. It needs to be like, okay, guys, here is what we have. Huh. So what, you want me to open up the chicken and show the white meat inside? Um, you know what? If that's what you want, then we could show that as well. We could definitely do that. Oh, okay. All right. Um, yeah. I'm taking notes on my imaginary notepad, but I'll try to remember for that. The ones who are like, hey, let's go to this place, are already eating the food. That was earlier. Now I've done a little bit more of a careful job, at least from what I could see. But sure thing. Here's the thing, though. I also want to leave some time to, um, for the actual grading of the food. You should be a food channel. Perhaps, like Addie. Yeah. Um, that guy, he still does food, but he also does different challenges as well. So, um, I don't know. Like, I'll do food review, go to Arby's and order the Meat Mountain. Well, I I went to Arby's. I ordered their beef and cheddar. It tasted no different than a breakfast sandwich that you would put inside of a microwave Like any generic breakfast sandwich, maybe the meat mountain might be different. Maybe not. I'll see. Yeah. 23. Any man who cuts off their organs, they will miss the kingdom of God. Anyone who is born out of illegitimate birth, which is cloning for sure, surrogacy maybe, or IVF, those are open to discussion. You shall not loathe the Edomites. Do not hate your brothers. You shall be on guard for your armies. Anyone who has a nocturnal emission, they'll go outside the camp. If you have to go poop, you should dig, and you'll hide your feces within the what you dug up. Do not hand over a slave who has escaped from his master to his master. Nobody shall be a prostitute or a dog, and any payment for that will be nullified. That's what the Bible says. It's talking about if you in Deuteronomy 23:12, it says, and it shall be when you sit down, or Deuteronomy 13, I mean, and it shall be when you sit down outside, you shall dig it and shall turn and cover up your excrement. Excrement is poop. No, not bury yourself in it, but I mean to say, uh, you know how cats, whenever they go to the bathroom, um, they dig, and then they do their business. They cover it up after they finish. So, um, dig up some dirt and cover up your commode in it. Basically, you're commanded to poop while sitting down. Exactly. Yeah, just like. No! No! Not bury yourself! No! That would be an abomination. Now, do not charge interest to your countrymen. If you make a vow to the Lord, do it. Otherwise, do not make a vow. You may eat grapes from your neighbor's vineyard, but not steal any. And when you enter your neighbor's standing grain, wheat, you can pluck them up, but do not use a sickle to steal it. Have you tried pooping standing up? Well, I know How to Basic has done it. I think so. I know this is all extra. This is all irrelevant, but I think I did. Yeah. Sorry to bring this up, but it does say a law concerning covering your poop in dirt. That's why we brought it up. But yeah. Now back to this. When I saw your Wendy's review, all I saw was just a wrapping, and you were eating the food without showing it. I mean, I know this. I'm not justifying myself, but at the same time, it's a Baconator, and it's one of the most popular Wendy's products. And since it's not something that's limited edition, I'd imagine that people will recognize what it looks like. But as a first time viewer, we need to see the Baconator, though. Hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Fair to say. Yeah, ever since then, um, I'll be focused even more on that. Um, ever since the Wendy's food review, I think I have done a little bit. uh, It's like doing a movie review, but not showing the movie. Oh, well, sadly on YouTube, if you show one glimpse of the movie, you're subject to copyright infringement. So you could technically use that excuse that you don't want to be caught for copyright infringement. Even if you place word marks or filters on it or whatever, if you do whatever to try to avoid that, and yeah, you could claim fair use, but YouTube, uh, well, fair use is whatever. Also, if you're reading the Bible, you gotta show it to the camera so viewers can read along. I'm kidding. Well, um, yeah, I could do that, but if I did, I would lose focus more often than when I'm reading it by my own. Maybe not. Maybe, maybe I could. Maybe not. But here's that. The point is, for food review, you have to show the food. Mm, yeah. Thanks for telling me. Next time I go, I'm gonna show you a cross section. Like, um, let's say I order some. Sorry, I accidentally muted my mic. But let's say I go into a chicken restaurant and I order some chicken strips. Um, sorry. All right, this is the chicken strips right here, and then it cuts to me eating or getting ready to eat. Um, yeah, does that make any sense? Um, if you don't show the food, my taste review. You're right. That's a sheesh. That's a gypsy. Hold the bracelet in front of you. Oh, this thing? Javelinas. Pretend it's a burger. Alright, where's a knife I can use? That way I can cut it up and show you a cross section of it. By the way, if I review burgers, do you want me to show you a cross section? Like, let's say I divide the burger in half. Uh, do you want me to show y'all the cross section? Kind of like review bra. Um, um, what else? Whichever is helpful for the viewer. Okay. Yeah. Um, yeah. Another thing I'm gonna say is, YouTube only allows 3 minutes for the short, so I instinctively try to conserve as much time for the when I try the food, because I want to get as much detail about the food, in terms of how it tastes. Um, But yeah, um, I'll find a way to work that in though. I'll find a way that it'll show the food and be as detailed as possible. Some people can do this in 6 seconds. 6 seconds. That's fair. Order, show, eat, and review. Burger King. It's been a hot while since I've been to Burger King, believe it or not. But it's been an even hotter while since I've been to McDonald's. I'm not sure how good McDonald's is in your area, but here, McDonald's, well, it's not the best tasting. It's not bad. It's not disgusting. It's not, you know, it's just I'm used to other different kinds of foods. By the way, I don't mean to put you down. I'm just suggesting to put you in the next level. Okay, yeah. Thank you for that. Thank you for the suggestion. Um, and you're right. You're totally in the right. I hope I can remember that. Hopefully, I don't just, yeah, I'm going to do this and then I forget. Hopefully, I don't forget to do that, to show the food and all its contents and all the food that's in it and the drink. Who knows? Maybe I'll go a little tongue-in-cheek about it. But regardless, thank you. Thank you, Metro, for that suggestion. What else? What else? Hey, I wonder if Christian. Let's go to Wendy's. I'll have the Baconator, please. All right, we have the meal. Let's eat. Oh man, I rated 10 out of 10. Yeah. Maybe what I'll do instead is when I eat it, I'm gonna show myself eating a bite, and then I guess cut it off and let the taste marinate in my tongue, and then when I can describe it accurately, I could just say how it is, say how it tastes. Caroline. Oh, sorry. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. By the way, on the next one, we're going to cover chapter 24, which is law of divorce. That's the first I've heard that. Yeah. There was a parody of the OxyClean commercial from 2000. If you know Billy Mays, then he's that guy who's like, "Hi, Billy Mays here for, whatever he's advertising." He's very popular amongst OxyClean fans, and somebody made a parody out of that but instead of Billy Mace's voice, it used that person's voiceover. It's a lot more ghetto in nature, and it has some uh, vulgar language, some slurs, and I'm going to paraphrase this. Let the thing marinate, then rub it. That's what they said, roughly. So that's where I got it. That parody of the OxyClean, it's made by, I believe their username was Cornelius08. Yeah, it's got some language that may not be suitable, but it's kind of funny for what it's worth. And it's not the first time I've seen that video. I've already seen it like hundreds of times, but you know, the whole marinating thing, I'm surprised that nobody has used that more often. Let the whole thing marinate, and then, you know. What else? Bang bang. Old Gertrude. Oh, what other stories do I have for y'all? Okay, get this. I'm gonna tell it in front of y'all. My dad bought me a TV so that I could watch TV in college in my dorm. And then you know, I decided to bring it in with me. I brought just the TV by itself and some other stuff as well. Now, when I plugged in the TV and turned it on, the TV broke. The screen was broken, so yeah, that's the end of that. So unfortunately, that TV is going to have to be dealt with, and yeah. It's already past its 30-day return window, so we'll see what we have to group with next. Okay, what else do we have? I guess that's it. Yeah, I just took my last final for the semester, and now I'm free for Christmas and New Year's Day, and I'm going to return on the 21st of January. Hooray! We're going to go to Mexico, and what else? Yeah, Christian, if you're out there listening, I just want to wish you, because today's Wednesday, tomorrow is Thursday, I'm going to wish you happy birthday. Happy early birthday, Christian. And may God bless your birthday and multiply your joys and jubilees and all of your blessings. So, yeah, I leave you with that, folks. We'll start back with Deuteronomy on chapter 24. So, I say now, thank you for tuning in, Metro and Aaron. Sleep deep, rise and shine bright, and go in peace and seek the love of